Hey, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory that's due to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, who I learned this truth from and who drew well. Peace and salutations to the 144,000 and the rest of the elect. Unto you I say shalom. Coming to you back with another lesson through the Spirit. And I'm entitled this one, Esau will receive his just due. And who is Esau, Edom, in the scriptures talking about? That he's going to ultimately receive a great judgment. He's going to receive captivity, aka slavery. And ultimately he's going to receive extermination, being wiped out of the planet Earth. Will be no other than the several clan white man, Esau Edom, because he has deceived the nations, he has deceived the people, he has deceived the world to believe that they're the true chosen people of the scriptures of the Bible, that they're the people of the book, starting with the small hats, the tiny caps, the 48ers that are in the land of Israel that are proclaiming to be the true JEWs. But ultimately we know they're not, because they don't fit prophecy. They don't fit Isaiah chapter 2, where it says all the nations are going to go up to the nation of Israel so they can learn the law, statutes, commandments. Nobody's doing that. Nobody's going to the land of Israel right now, because right now the land of Israel is getting bombed as we speak. It's getting bombed by Iran and these other countries, that have enmity against the Israelis. But very soon, that's just the beginning of the judgment. Very soon, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai is about to really let the angels of the death, not just on the 2/3 of our people, of the nation of Israel, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, which are the true Israelites, but also for these Edomites, because these Edomites, it's called Jacob's trouble, but they're going to be amongst them. A lot of them are going to get sent to these concentration camps, to these FEMA camps. A lot of them are going to get put to death during martial law, during the Civil War. And ultimately that great judgment that's waiting upon them after America gets destroyed by the way of those intercontinental ballistic missiles is going to be captivity, is going to be slavery. So Esau Edom, several clan white man, he's not going to get away with all the atrocities, abominations that they've done to the nation of Israel. This is Revelation chapter, and it reads, "He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword." Here's the patience and the faith of the saints. And what did Esau Edom do to the nation of Israel, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans? He put us in captivity, ultimately because we sinned against Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, like it says in Deuteronomy chapter 28. But that captivity, our punishment, it has an end. In a way that Esau Edom, the several clan white man, carry out that punishment, it was way out of that limit that Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai set up, because Esau Edom, he has done so much atrocities, abominations to the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, to the point where even you got Trump, you got these white, quote-unquote, white supremacists that are trying to take the museums that are showing the slavery, that are showing the transatlantic slavery, which was how the southern kingdom, the tribes of Judah, Benjamin, and Levi came over here, during the 1600s, after they got captured over there in the west coast of Africa. The Nigerians, the Cameroon, which are Israelites as well, because Israel has been scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. And then you have the tribes, the northern kingdom that was already over here, the tribe of Ephraim, down to the tribe of Issachar, that also got their ass kicked by Esau, Edom, when Hernan Cortez, came over here, and the other colonizers, the Spanish, the French colonized, the Levites, the Haitians. But did they just put Jake in slavery? Like, okay, we're going to put you in chains and shackles and go get to work. That's it. We're going to treat you good. No, Esau, Edom, he put that hammer down upon the nation of Israel to the point where certain things, we don't even know about that. Yahweh Bashim Al-Shai is going to let us know what the sepulchral white man did to the children of Israel, because the Lord is going to put his anger upon the elect, the remnant, the 144,000 and 1/3, to carry out Yahweh Bashim Al-Shai's indignation upon these Edomites. Because even though we show, we tell how much we hate Esau, Edom, really, we don't hate him enough. That's why the Lord is going to have to put that spirit upon us to the point where it's just going to ignite that indignation among the elect, where they're going to carry out that judgment upon these heathens, starting with Esau, Edom. This is Numbers 35 and 33, and it reads, "So ye shall not pollute the land wherein ye are, for blood it defileth the land, and the land cannot be cleansed of the blood that is shed therein, but by the blood of him that shed it." And how did America, the United States, Babylon the Great, the land of the free, the land of the American dream, get established? It got established by bloodshed. But whose blood was shed? So much was the Israelites, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, starting with the Northern Kingdom. When they got colonized, over there in Mexico, Central America, Southern America, Puerto Rico, Cuba, Dominican Republic, and then a couple years later, the Southern Kingdom got brought over here, to get that same punishment as well for sinning against Yahweh Bashim Al-Shai, like it says in Baruch chapter 4. You were sold to the nations, not for your destruction, but because you sinned against your power, Yahweh Bashim Al-Shai. So ultimately, the way that this land is going to be cleansed, America, is going to be by the way of those intercontinental ballistic missiles that are going to be shot. Ultimately, during the climax of World War III, that's basically at the beginning stages, along with the 2/3 of the nation of Israel that are here in America, that are going to take that MOTB, and with these other heathen nations, with Esau, Edom, the sepulchral white man. This is Lamentations chapter 4 and verse 21, and it reads, "Rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom, that dwellest in the land of Uz. The cup shall also pass through thee, or through unto thee. Thou shalt be drunken and shalt make thyself naked." So this is as good as it gets for Esau, Edom, the sepulchral white man. A skyscraper, McDonald's, Starbucks, a 9-to-5, a job, paying taxes, and even at the top, at the very top, the 1%, the elite banking families, the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers. This is as good as it gets too. They have complete control of the resources of the earth, of the people, but yet they don't have that one thing that they're desperately seeking for, which is immortality. Is that birthright back, the right hand blessing that was given unto the nation of Israel, that was given unto Jacob, which his name was later changed to Israel. That's what they're trying to get so bad, but what they don't understand is that they're not going to be successful in getting that blessing back. So they're trying to get it through left hand means. Here, Esau, Edom should be enjoying his blessing, enjoying the fatness of the earth, nature. But what is he doing? He's doing the complete opposite. He's bugging out. He's crashing out. He's polluting the same earth that he lives in. And that's how you know that this devil is not meant to rule. He's destroying the same place that he has to live in. He's polluting the air, the water, the food. He's even capable enough of pressing the rep button and having nukes shut off. So, it says rejoice and be glad. Enjoy your kingdom while it lasts, because it's on its way out. Verse 22, the punishment of thine iniquity is accomplished. Going into the nation of Israel, the time of Jacob, serving captivity, it's almost up. It's right around the corner. That's why you see the curses being slowly put upon these other heathen nations. First and foremost, starting with Esau, Edom. And you can see, that they're bugging out right now, because they can't pay their rent. Grocery prices are going up. If you see Esau, Edom complaining now, he's gonna give up the ghost. He's gonna give up the spirit in the kingdom when he has to build up the kingdom for that 1,000 period of years that these heathens are gonna have to build up the kingdom. It says, O daughter of Zion, he will no more carry thee away into captivity. He will visit thine iniquity, O daughter of Edom. He will discover thy sins. So this is the last captivity for the nation of Israel. After all the captivities that the Israelites have served, from the Egyptian captivity during the time of Moses, during the time of the Exodus, to the Assyrian captivity of the northern kingdom, the Neo-Babylonian, with the southern kingdom. Then you had the Medo-Persians. Then you had the Greeks, and then the Romans. Jake has been in captivity damn near all of our existence. And that's why Yahweh Bashim Shai said, this will be the last time where the Israelites have to, come up on these chains of darkness, serve captivity, acknowledge that they went off against Yahweh Bashim Shai, like it says in Micah chapter 7 and verse 9. But that's that remnant. The remnant, the elect, they're the only ones who are calling this devil out for all the atrocities that he's done unto the nation of Israel, all the the abominations that he's doing right now, trying to put a RFID microchip inside everybody, and if you don't have it, you can't buy and sell. Everybody's calling this devil out, so he's naked. That covering of being quote unquote white, that's not working anymore. That's why eventually all these, even including his own allies, are going to turn on America, Babylon the Great, are going to turn on Esau, Edom. Russia, China, Iran, Turkey. This is Jeremiah 49 and verse 10. I have uncovered his secret places, and he shall not be able to hide himself. His seed is spoiled, and his brethren, and his neighbors, and he is not. So Esau, Edom, the several-claimed white man, has been made bare. And how has he been exposed? Ultimately by the prophets of Yahweh Bashim Shai, starting with High Priest Elder Abba Bibbins, and then the elders of our elder apostles, bishops, High Priest Ariah, so on and so forth. And then, the brothers that came in, after the apostles, elders, bishops, the elders of Great Millstone, they're exposing this devil, like it says in 2 Thessalonians chapter 2. They're calling out this devil, exposing him, telling him of who he really is, his true biblical identity, and what is, which is captivity, is slavery. And ultimately the extermination of the nation of Esau, Edom. That's going to happen after they help build a kingdom. There's not going to be any remnant of the nation of Esau, Edom. Verse 11, leave thy fatherless children. I will preserve them alive, and let thy widows trust in me. So who's that fatherless children that's going into the nation of Israel? Who are the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans They were void of understanding of who their power is, who they're really meant to serve. They're meant to serve Yahweh Bashim Shai. But now you have that remnant and the elect that are trusting in the Lord, trusting in his plan and his will. Because you got a lot of Jake, in the world. You had the Black Panthers, you had the other left radical groups, that were trying to buck up against Esau, Edom physically. But ultimately, we're supposed to wait upon the Lord. Like it says, wait upon me till I rise up to the prey. So we got to wait upon Yahweh Bashim Shai, to bring that judgment upon the Lord. We can't carry out judgment and try to put Esau, Edom to death, by our own hands. No, we're going to wait upon Yahweh Bashim Shai, the remnant and the elect, that is. Verse 12, for thus said the Lord, Yahweh Bashim Shai, behold, they whose judgment was not to drink of the cup have assuredly drunken, and art thou he that shall altogether go unpunished? Thou shalt not go unpunished, but thou shalt surely drink of it. So Esau, Edom, the self-proclaimed white man, he's going to drink double of what the nation of Israel had to serve. So whatever punishment they get during the kingdom of heaven is going to be justified. They're going to get their ass kicked every day, have to be busting their ass, except for the Sabbath. And even then, that the Sabbath is the Shabbat is gonna go by so quick that they're gonna be like, damn, we're getting our ass kicked again. But that's gonna be the recompense of Esau, Edom, the self-proclaimed white man, for what he's done unto the Israelites. This is Psalms chapter 149 and verse 3. Let them praise his name in the dance. Let them sing praises unto him with the trembling heart. Verse 4, for the Lord taketh pleasure in his people. He will beautify the meek with salvation, the remnant of the elect. They're the only ones who are crying out to Yahweh Bashim Shai to bring Esau, Edom down, which is the self-proclaimed white man, to judge this devil. That's why the 2/3 of our people, they're not going to make it, because they don't hate Esau, Edom. They're not for the will of Yahweh Bashim Shai. So only the remnant and the elect are going to get that deliverance, the kingdom of heaven on the first go around. Verse 5, let the saints be joyful in glory. Let them sing aloud upon their beds. Verse 6, let the high praises of Yahweh Bashim Shai be in their mouth and a two-edged sword in their hand. Verse 7, to execute vengeance upon the heathen and punishments upon the people. There you go, the heathen. You're going to have subjects, slaves in a kingdom to help build it up and maintain it. Just like we're in now in America, Babylon the Great. Esau, Edom loves to push that. Oh, y'all are employees. No, motherfucker, we're slaves. You got to report the work, But the way that Esau, Edom has done it to make it look like, oh, yeah, people have their freedom. You can drive wherever. You could do whatever you want. No, you can't. Let you not pay those property taxes. Let you not pay that light bill. Let you not go to work a couple days. You're going to get fired. You're not going to have a job. So it's going to be the same thing in the kingdom of heaven, but it's going to be done in righteousness. Not like what Esau, Edom, did to the children of Israel, fed the babies to alligators and, hang Jake and burn them alive, the Roman candles, so on and so forth. It's a long list that Esau, Edom has to pay for. Verse 8, to bind their kings with chains and their nobles with feathers of iron. Verse 9, to execute upon them the judgment written, this honor have all his saints. Praise you, the Lord, Yahweh Bashim Shai. So Esau is going to get his just due. Ultimately, because it's the will of Yahweh Bashim Shai. And that's why a lot of Jake, so a lot of Jake, in the world, they get offended when we tell them that Yahweh Bashim Shai hates Esau, Edom. And a lot of Jake, they get offended at that, and they don't want to take heed. If the white man can't make it, I don't want to make it. But this is what the Lord says is going to happen to Esau, Edom. This is Obadiah chapter 1 and 15. It says, "For the day of the Lord is near upon all heathen, and thou hast done, it shall be done unto thee. Thy reward shall return upon thine own head." Verse 16, "For as ye have drunk upon my holy mountain, so shall all the heathen drink continually. Yeah, they shall drink, and they shall swallow down, and they shall be as though they had not been." So there's position of being in rulers upon the planet Earth. You got Ishmael and Moab, balling out. AKA the Arabians, which are the Ishmaelites, the Moabites, which are the Chinese. All these heathen nations, they have a form of being quote unquote in power. But yet look at the nation of Israel, just completely threw his hell out here. That's why the Lord is about to bring these heathens down. It's starting with Esau, Edom, like it says in Isaiah chapter 14. Everybody's gonna look at this devil like, damn, this was he who was, ruling the planet Earth, dropping nukes on people. Look at him now, chained up, looking like his natural state, like a caveman, a Caucasian. Verse 17, "But upon Mount Zion shall be deliverance, and there shall be holiness, and the house of Jacob shall possess their possessions." Verse 18, "And the house of Jacob shall be as a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame, and the house of Esau for stubble, and they shall kindle in them and devour them, and there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau, for the Lord Yahweh Bashim El Shai had spoken." So that's what's going to happen to the Edomites, the self-proclaimed white people, after they served that 1,000 long, hardcore year slavery of helping, building up the kingdom. And then they're going to be eradicated off the planet Earth. They're going to be burned up. There's not going to be any need for the wicked, for death and destruction. There's a dictionary where it says Esau, and the definition, it says the only mercy that is not, or the only nation does not promise any mercy by Yahweh Bashim El Shai. Because even these heathens, after they get their ass kicked for 1,000 mites, I pray that this was edifying unto the elect. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory that's due to Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, Bashim Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, who all learn this truth from who do well. Peace and salutations to the 144,000 and the rest of the elect. And to you I say shalom.